many people don't know what the difference between role models, coaches, sponsors, and so forth. And what I want to do in this conversation this morning is to kind of talk about that and how important these people are. So I want to start off with role model. And excuse me, you guys know my sinus. I think it's from the cigars. That's what I'm feeling. I think it's from the cigars. When I smoke a cigar, I start to have a little bit of congestion. So I got to make sure that I'm only doing maybe 2 a week versus 3 or 4. Anyway, a role model. Let me start off with that one first. A role model is someone who has, traits and somebody that you admire and you wish to emulate. So, if I was to say, when I started my professional career, guys, let me say this: there wasn't very many people who looked like me. Okay, but there were people who were in positions of power at the company that I emulated their style, and they were role models to me, and they were role models for me. And I basically looked at them as people that I admire and I wish to emulate, even from how they talk, how they enunciate words, and so forth. And guys, you know this, as you are around people, as you are around certain people, you become like those people. And they always say, right, like, you are the combination of your 5 best friends or something like that, right? Or the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's absolutely true. You start to pick up on their behaviors. You start to pick up on the way they speak, the rhythm of speeches and things like that. Well, you do the same thing if you're spending a lot of your time at work and you admire somebody, right? And my first role model in the professional world was a gentleman by the name of Scott Zickert, who was my boss, right? A person who was super smooth and, he never would, get upset. And anytime that somebody had something to say about something, he was that person that always just was sharp and was onto it. And he was a role model for me. But it's important to have people that you admire, that you look up to, because they have skills a lot of times, right? Certain skills that you may not have. Right. And I say this, role models are important. They are very important and they need to be in your network. And when I say they need to be in your network, they need to be in your network and they need to know that they are a role model to you. So Scott Zickert realized that he was a role model to me based on me telling him that, hey, you know what, because he was my first boss in the professional world as well, too. I think that really helped for him to make sure that he was setting the right example for me as well, too. And let me just say this, he was the reason why I got promoted and was in the positions that I was in a lot of the times. So it's important, guys. It's very important to have role models. And I will say it like this. Again, a role model is nobody other than somebody who has traits that you admire, that you wish to emulate. And you have to really be very careful with people who you choose as your role models and people who you look up to as your role model. Because growing up, let me tell you this, I was a big fan of Master P. I was a big fan of Master P. So, growing up, not seeing people in the professional world, but when you're listening to music, when you're listening to No Limit music, right? He was a role model for me. And of course, I wore the baggy clothes. I had a No Limit gold chain. I admired that. I thought that getting the money was, getting the fast money was the right way. I thought that the music game was the right way and so forth, right? And that really carried its way for me in high school as well, too. And then you start to see that a lot of people saw him as a role model as well, because everybody was shouting out No Limit soldiers, right? All that stuff, right? So you just have to be very careful with who you choose as your role model, because you want your role model, again, to be somebody that you admire. And you have to think about this long term. Where is it that you want to go? And you want to choose role models that are on your path, or have already gotten there already. So that's the first thing, guys. First thing is role model. The definition of a role model is somebody who has traits that you admire, that you wish to emulate. Okay. All right, let's continue on. Mentor. Mentor is somebody who's different, right? A mentor is somebody who is completely different. And guys, I want you to do this. If you guys have your definition of a role model, if you have role models that you admire, shout them out in the chat. Shout them out in the chat as well too, because I want you guys to contribute to this conversation as well too. And more than likely, I'll open this up once I get through this monologue and have Steven introduce himself and talk about his experience as well too, because I want to hear from you guys. This may be a long stream this morning. Mentor. So a mentor is someone who talks with you about your career, your goals, your plans, your aspirations, right? They help you refine your plan. They are people who, that I would suggest, or Professor Black Ops would suggest that you talk to, right? So Professor Black Ops would be like, hey, you know what, Trey, I know you're interested into going down this field. Hey, I think you should go talk to Brother Antoine Way or Brother Black Heights, right? He's suggesting a mentor to Trey. And of course, Trey comes over to Black Heights, and now, Trey is a mentee of mine, and I am a coach of Trey as well too. But a mentor is basically somebody who talks to you about your career, your goals, your plans, and your aspirations. And they help to refine your plan and suggest people that you should talk to. And they look for opportunities that you should partake in, and talk to you about the obstacles that you should be aware of. So I'm a mentor for many people. I'm a mentor / coach, and there's a difference, and I'll talk about the difference as well too. I'll talk about the difference between a mentor and a coach. But a mentor really is somebody who's going to give you the game and really share opportunities with you that you should potentially partake in, and also give you game about obstacles that you should be aware of. And mentors usually take on two major roles. They help with your career and with the social needs and the motivation and inspiration that you're going to need towards your next goal, your milestone. But they also are people who recommend other people that you should be using as a mentor as well. And typically what I would say about a mentor is this is a long-term relationship, continuing for many years, as well as, basically for a lifetime. This is somebody that you can call at just about any point in time. And I'm going to introduce you to a mentee of mine who I talk to very often and very frequent, at least through text message, at least twice a week, and so forth. But let me talk about the next one. A coach. A coach. A coach is someone who talks at you. And let me say this, let me make sure I say this the correct way. A coach is someone who talks at you to try to perfect something specific that you have going on. So you think about it. If you were to give a TED talk and you wanted to be prepared for that TED talk, then you would hire a coach to help you with something like storytelling, right? And if you have your eye on getting into the C-suite, you might wish to hire a coach who can help you with your executive presence, or perhaps even understanding what your passion or your purpose is, so that you can really identify what your strengths and weaknesses are and things like that. So that's the coach. A coach is somebody who is there to help you with a specific need, and help you to try to perfect something that you want done. It could be, you getting ready for a TED talk. It could be you getting ready to your journey to the C-suite. It could be you getting ready to apply to a new job. That's what coaches are for. And typically these guys are transactional a lot of the times, and they could take the form of a mentor if you and the coach hit it off in the right way. But most of the time, these guys are people that you transact with that's going to help you with a specific purpose. And after that, you guys kind of go on your own way, because once you've already completed a TED Talk, what do you need a coach for? Unless you're going to do multiple TED Talks and things like that. He's going to help you build your confidence so that you can do the TED Talk. And once you're done with that, it's over, right? Or he's going to help you to get a job that you've been trying to get or getting in Google or something like that. And once you get there, or you don't get there, then you don't need him anymore, right? or at least you don't need them for that specific issue anymore. But coaches are good, and these are people that you want to seek out when you have challenges. And for me, for instance, let me just talk about my experience with a coach. So brother O'Shea Duke Jackson is a coach for me. I reached out to O'Shea to say, O'Shea, how can I go from 5,000 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers? And he's the person that helped me with that. Right, Antoine, you need to look at your thumbnails. Antoine, you need to look at your titles. Antoine, you need to look at your analytics. You need to start creating content for these types of people based on your analytics. You need to be able to engage with people based on this segment within your viewership or within the population that really watches your channel. So that's a coach, guys. Let me tell you something like this. Let me tell you. Kamal says this. My mentor in the military is Janir Cabrera. I would not be where I am without his guidance. Absolutely. Absolutely. Falcon Black. Falcon Black says, O'Shea Simi. I appreciate you for coming in, Falcon Black. Falcon Black says this. My Taekwondo coach, my external or eternal mentor. Absolutely. And they can play both roles a lot of the times as well, too, if you have a good relationship with the coach. Absolutely. Blind Guy, his wife, their life, guys, fantastic couple. I was actually on their show yesterday. We were talking about plant-based diets as well as getting to the bag in corporate America. And they had me on to share my experience of how you can climb the corporate ladder, advance your career relatively fast. And it was a fantastic show, guys. Go and check out Blind Guy's wife, their life. Fantastic couple, fantastic YouTube channel. Kamal says, Blackman says, listening to you for a while, looking to go into tech sales, starting as an SDR. You're definitely my role model. As I come close to my graduation, I'll be booking a session. I appreciate you, Blackman. Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? You want to emulate yourself to be around people that you admire and somebody who has traits that you admire and that you inspire to be, or aspire to be. That's what it is. That's the correct word.